Alright, so finally after cleaning out my PC and finally getting all my stuff back together, here we are reviewing Valkyr Prime's rework. When it comes to her rework, I think her rework is quite nice and, well, needed. She didn't get as much play as a lot of people would have, expected out of her, especially since she is what I would call a really good melee-focused Warframe. Her most used thing was indeed her war cry outside of, well, just using her normally. I think that was kind of sad though. When it comes to using her new abilities, her rip line is like a movable ensnare where you're able to be moved to the enemy instead of just doing it from afar, and it does give you combo count and allows you to still, well, rip line like normal. I think it's quite nice. When it comes to Warcry now gives you armor increase. I don't remember if it did that always, but it still gives the attack speed bonus. Paralysis now, instead of eating shields, now just lets you do it instead of stunning and knocking people back. It will now knock back and also decrease speed and give damage vulnerability. It's so nice. And finally, when it comes to Hysteria is a very interesting ability they changed with her. It gives you now a armor increase of 3x and lifesteal instead of invulnerability, and her passive is so good. It now, well, as you see in the bottom right, kind of acts like Garuda, where the more damage she deals, you deal more melee damage. It's actually unbelievably nice. But these are just some basic 160 enemies, 170 roughly, and they're dying really easily. Let's see what it can do against an Acolyte. Alright, the Acolyte is appearing, and we got Misery. This is a melee Acolyte after all, so we should be able to take full advantage of it. Now, I'm going to proc Paralysis so you can really see the benefit of it, and, well, there they go. It's kind of broken. Imagine Caliban's ability if it was just able to be spammed. That's how good it is. Well, I say spammed. More consistently spammable, because his eventually does run out as a helmet ability. But how about we go test this in the Simulacrum, where we can get a more controlled setting with really good enemies, and I can showcase the build there. So as soon as this mission is over, I will see y'all in the Simulacrum. Alright, and here we are in the Simulacrum. So when it comes to building Valkyr Prime, there is a standard way and, well, a universal way. The standard way is building her for armor and such, and the universal way is by slapping a ton of umbral mods on her and a ton of strength. I kind of did a mixture of both. When it comes to my Valkyr Prime build, I have Blind Rage, Prime Continuity, Eternal War, and Augur Reach, 3 umbral mods, Prime Flow, Arcane Bellicose, or Multi-Augmented, whichever you prefer, and Arcane for Fury, because if you're going to get a crit hit, more than likely, you want that extra melee damage. So, how does this affect our abilities? When it comes to the rip line, we get an additional 2,000 damage. We get 12 meters, basically, of pull-in range and 98 meters of rip line range, where we can just, like, fly. Warcry, we get a nice and tasty 163.2% armor increase and attack speed increase, and on every kill, we get a 3.1 second increase at a max duration of 62. So we can keep that going constantly. They also made it to where it's an infinity range, not in like a circle anymore. Next up is Paralysis. Paralysis now gets damage vulnerability, and we get 163% damage vulnerability and a speed decrease of 75%. No longer consuming shields, just energy. Finally, the biggest change on her is Hysteria. Hysteria became a armor increase instead of a invulnerability. So based on the amount of armor you have, multiply that by 3. In my case, I'd have 8,400 armor with 2,100 health, which to me is very nice. Overall, very good, very bog standard, with Steel Charge as the aura. Next up is her Talons. When it comes to her Talons, pretty standard build, sadly, because it works. We went with Conditional Overload, Blood Rush, Galv, Reflex, and Steel, Pride Reach from a range, Viral, and Shock for melee influence. Things you could probably do is Melee Dowdy, but the problem with Melee Dowdy is the fact that Slash is her biggest thing. She does have Puncture, but it may not get as much use as Melee Influence or Melee Animosity. Pick which one you like, play with it, see if it's your better. Let's test this on some Simulacrum 195 enemies. So here we have some level 200 Oricon enemies instead of 195, like I said. We proc Warcry, and, well, dang. And as you see, whenever we hit her 3, you see this like pinkish glow from my energy, and that will tell you that her paralysis is affecting them. And, well, damn. that kills unbelievably quickly, thanks to, well, it being 163% damage vulnerability. It helps a lot, and if you want, you can rip line as well, and look at how many enemies it pulls in. It's just, oh, it's like a a movable ensnare, because you can literally use it for mobility, like, oh, that's out of range. You can use it like that, and then also still target enemies and do that with it. It's so good. I love using it now. But let me go ahead and head to the back rooms so you can get my final thoughts on Valkyr Prime's rework. So when it comes to using Valkyr Prime with a new rework, what do I think about it? Overall, I think her rework was necessary and kind of needed, especially since they did end up changing her passive. Now, she'll accumulate rage when hitting or killing an enemy with a melee weapon, and when that happens, it increases her melee damage up to 300%, and if you take fatal damage, it will decrease it, it will consume your meter, and prevent you from dying by giving you 5 seconds of vulnerability. I think that's amazing. It helps benefit her whole melee playstyle of being ferocious. Now, a lot of people were upset that they lost her vulnerability, but I think it was a fine change. Another thing I should have mentioned is, after a little bit of testing, Bolt Augmented is better overall than Bellicose, but Bellicose is if you want instant, and you could technically mix it by taking off Fury and putting Bellicose and Bolt Augmented to really make your Hysteria have really good starter damage and all your other abilities, but it's up to the person. Overall, she is a very good frame again. Amazing, even. I'd say she's one of the best melee frames. Don't forget, by the way, with TennoCon approaching in 4 days, when you watch that stream for, I think it's an hour and a quarter, so an hour 15 or an hour 25, it's one of the two, you will be able to acquire yourself a Valkyr Prime set. So not set, the whole frame, but do make sure you go watch the TennoCon drop. But other than that, if you guys want to see more videos like this, tell me down below in the comments. Other than that, make sure you hit the like button, do subscribe, and turn on that bell for post notifications so you always get notified when I post a video. Hope to see you guys in the next one. I sadly did lose my outro, so if y'all got something you may want to see me post at the end of it, tell me and send it to me. Peace out, everybody.